Hello and welcome to Chess Please. Now, if you're into chess, then the likelihood is you're probably also into general puzzle games, things like Sudoku, things like Wordle. And if so, I've great news for you because LinkedIn, of all places, now has a chess-based daily puzzle game called Queens, which I just wanted to walk you through today because I've been having a blast with it. It's kind of like chess, it's very not like chess in one particular way. So let's just jump on in and play. So the game of Queens is basically like Sudoku, where you have to place one queen in each row, each column, and each colored section of the board. So you kind of are able to deduce where the different queens can go based on the different columns that are available, the different rows that are available, and the different segments that are available. Now, one thing that is interesting with queens is that the queens, when you place them, will block off an entire row and an entire column, but they won't block off an entire diagonal. They'll just block off the closest diagonal to them. So let's see if we can't start solving this one. So the main feature is this massive green hulk in the middle, which is actually making things pretty difficult. But basically the big secret to queens is blocking off the squares where no queen can go, and then eventually you can deduce where queens can still go and eventually start to place them. So one thing I noticed, for example, is I mentioned that a queen, if placed, will block off the diagonals directly around her. So if a queen were to land in this square, then a queen can go here, here, or here, but one has to go there because there needs to be one in this grey section. So I can block off that square just straight away. And that's not much, but it's those kind of deductions that will very slowly get you to where you need to go with the rest of your queens. So let's see if we can find any similar kind of block off moments or anything like that. So let's have a look here. Another thing that I'm noticing is that all of the squares in this column are either blue or yellow, which means that the queen for this column has to be in the blue or yellow segment. And this is a tricky one. I think they get trickier as you go on through the week, but there's a new one of these every single day. And what else can we deduce? A slow start, I'll say. So again, you kind of want to look for rows or columns that don't have too much going on in them, because oftentimes that can give you a pretty easy clue. Does that tell us anything about where a queen can't go? I mean, if a queen were to go here... Oh! The queen can't go here, because if it did, it would block off all of these three, which is no good for us, because... And it will block off these two as well via the diagonal rule, which means the queen can't go here, which means that it's in this blue column here, which means that it's not in that column there for the yellow. Little chipping away with the progress. Is there anything similar that we could do on the other side of things? So that means that it is in the bottom row of the yellow, which is great because that means it's not here in the grey, it's not here in the red, and it means that it is in this second to bottom row in the grey, which means it's not here, 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 which is great. We're making progress. This is Queens, baby. This is what it's all about. Knocking off every square. So bang, bang, bang. That's good. It's a good start. So it's definitely in the bottom on the yellow. It's definitely on the right hand side of the blue. What else does that tell us? That means that it's in... Oh, so that means that it's in the left hand side of the red, which means all of these orange ones are also dead, which is great. What else can we tell? What else can we tell here? We can also knock off these two because we know it's only in one of these two red squares. So at the very least, these two are going to be touched by that queen's diagonal. So we're good. Could probably do a similar one for that square because the queen has to be in one of these three, which means she's definitely going to be touching that square. So another chip away here. So again, we know it's here in the blue, which doesn't tell us much, but does have implications for this fella here. Here in the yellow, here in the green, somewhere there in the red. Oh, wait a minute. So we know it's not on the left-hand side here of the orange, so we know it has to be on top, which means it can't be on top anywhere else, which is great. Which also means the queen has to be in this middle column here, which means it can't be anywhere like this, or here, or also here, because if it's in either of these, it's touching this square, so no good. And that also again gives us that it has to be in this little middle row here for the grey section, which means that this is no good, this is no good, this is no good, this is no good, and that is no good. Which is promising, which means that it's definitely in this little section. No, that's not true. I was going to say it's going to be in this section for the green. Disregard that. A foolish proposition from a foolish man. So we plow on. Anything else we can tell? That was a good chunk of change here. So if it's here, then it can't be here. Oh, okay. So it can't be in this blue, because if it's in this blue, then it's touching this square and this square, meaning the queen can't be there, which would leave only 2 squares in the one column for 2 queens to go. So this blue is not viable, which means this blue is conformed. So we can block out, again, it's just one diagonal, but that's fine. And then we can block out this whole row here, which is going to be very useful, which gives us the red, blocks out all of this, which is super useful. We can pop in the grey because that's the only place it can go. And that's blocked out here. We can also pop in here, which blocks out this and that. And then the yellow comes in here, which blocks out this and this, which pops the grey there. Okay, now we're cooking. Now the whole thing comes together. That's the only place that can go. And our last queen goes there. Unreal. Took us a while to get there, but that is queens. Hopefully that all makes sense, where you have to place the queens in every column, row, one column, one per row, one per segment, and they block off the diagonals around them. That's all you really need to know. It's on linkedin.com/games, or if you're on the app, it's just like under your personal profile, there's a games button. Highly recommend it if you're into chess and you're into puzzles, because it's a lot of fun and can take out some of the crushing day by occupying you with a nice little puzzle. All the very best. For more chess content, feel free to stick around and subscribe. Otherwise, have a great day.